like to ask that you all rise and stand, please, while the Bethel High School Marching Band, under the direction of Mr. Lonnie Davis, plays for us this evening our national anthem.
From Todd Stadium in Newport News, WHCS Channel 29 presents Peninsula District Football. The Bethel Bruins hosting the Denbigh Patriots. Good evening, everybody. I'm Tim Cole along with Bob Hintz. Welcome to windy Todd Stadium for tonight's game between the Denbigh Patriots, who are visitors, and the Bethel Bruins, who are the home team. Bob, we have a little oddity in the sense that, of course, with Darling Stadium not ready, ironically, this turns out to be a home game for Bethel, playing in the Denbigh home field.
Yes, it is, Tim, and we were here earlier today, and it was a nice day, and a little bit rainy, but boy, the wind is picked up, and it's got to be 30-mile-an-hour gusts out there tonight, and it's really going to make it tough to pass the ball. It's going to favor the kicking game, and Bethel's got a good kicker in Fullwood, who can kick the ball real well from far out, so if he got a wind behind him, he might be able to get a 45-yarder tonight.
Both of these teams come into the game 2-1 on the season. Denbigh is the only undefeated team in the Peninsula District. Their one loss coming at the hands of the Tab Tigers. They lost by the score of 10-7 last week. Bethel comes into the game with the one lone defeat, and that was the 14-7 defeat last week that we did when they were playing at Hampton University. And of course, Kecoughtan won that game, and Kecoughtan also beat a strong Norview team Friday night. So Kecoughtan is on a roll, and they are looking forward to that big game next Friday night from the new Darling Stadium. They will tangle with the Hampton Crabbers, a game we'll be on hand to do for you. But right now, let's get back to this game. And Bob, we had a chance to talk briefly with the coaches. There you see the official for tonight's game. What kind of game we're looking at?
Well, we're going to look at a game that the game plan has probably gone out the window. Neither one of these two teams expected to have this kind of wind. If the wind would be like this, they would have thought it had been the Hurricane Hugo, which it didn't come up here. This is a cold front that just moved in about 6 o'clock tonight. The field's temperature is 57 degrees right now. We were here earlier and it was in the high 70s, so that's a tremendous drop. The one thing, if you're a coach on either team, you've got to be concerned about. These kids have not played in weather like this. You can get some injuries if you don't warm up properly and do some good stretching and be loose when you go out there. And of course, if you come off for a few plays, you got to keep yourself loose. It's going to be an interesting game. I'll look for Bethel to try to keep the ball on the ground and not throw it because of the weather, but they do have a good quarterback that can throw it in Robbie Robinson. Denbigh on the other side, there's a good shot of the huddle with Coach Kozlowski talking. Denbigh, on the other hand, has proven to be a real contender. John Quillen, the coach over there, has just done an excellent job.
And we'll look for what should be an excellent ball game. As I said, Denbigh is alone at the top of the district at 2-0 in the Peninsula District. As I said, their lone loss was a non-district defeat by Tab, but again continues to just accentuate the parity that we've referred to as on any given day, any team can beat another team, and that's just never been more true than it is in this league right now. While we have a chance, and before they have the teams meeting at the center of the field, let's go down the lineups if the
There we go.
There we go. I was going to say if our crew is ready, but they're ready.
Oh,
We're here. This is our second game of the day, and if we're not too punchy by the halftime, we'll be here for the rest of this game.
Starting off on the offense for the Bruins, quarterback will be Robbie Robinson. The fullback will be Lamont Marshall. The halfback, Corey Hodge, and a halfback, Steve Hodges. Your split ends are Rodney Bowens and Craig Rainey. Your tackles are Scott Blake and Christopher Gaskell. At guards, you have Zachary Robbins and Matt Penort, and at center, Damon Wallace.
For the Bruins on defense, the guards are Brown and Sawyer. The tackles are Harper and Shackelford. The ends are Fullwood and Rainey. The linebackers, Whitehead and Ogborn. Nobles, Hodges, and Robinson will be the deep men for the Bruins.
And for the Denbigh Patriots on offense, they're led by quarterback Brian Edlow. He's got runners in the backfield with Damon Williams, Billy Johnson, and Eric Lloyd. The split end is Mike Tomlin. The tight end is Royal Haywood. At center, Chris O'Neill. The guards are Silver and Upton. The tackles are Coate and Nurmi.
And on defense, the nose guard is Joe Maxwell. The tackles are Upton and Nurmi. Again, a lot of two-way players for these teams. Smith and Rivera will be the ends. Britt and Scott, the linebackers. Along with Witherspoon, and the cornerbacks, Johnson and Edlow, and the free safety will be Rhodes. That's Donald Rhodes for the Denbigh Patriots.
I have to apologize. I don't have all the assistant coaches for the Denbigh. The only one I've got right on my list is John Quillen, who is the head coach, and I'd like to apologize to the Denbigh Patriots because I don't have the rest of their coaching staff, and you have the Bethel Bruins coaching staff there.
Yes, I do, and they, of course, are coached by head coach Dennis Killer Kozlowski. And he is assisted very ably by Roger Bouchard, Colin Oliver, Larry Estep, and Findolf Taylor. And of course, the principal, Mr. Thomas Bailey, is here tonight. He's in the press box, and we will be, from time to time, talking about him. What a nice fella he is.
Well,
bought us drinks last week.
Yeah, I was going to say, we better mention that.
I don't forget those things.
And I see we have a few people up in the stadium, and there's the young man who takes care of the stadium here in Newport News. It's Wayne Begore, and his staff has done a wonderful job. That field is in excellent shape for as many games that have been played on it.
Yeah, that's of course, the delay in the opening of Darling Stadium has once again put extra pressure on Todd Stadium's crew, and they have responded as the stadium is in superb condition. The field, even with the rain that we had earlier today and the rain earlier this week, that field couldn't be in any better condition.
No, not at this point in the season. And if you understand, and normally you're only going to have maybe 2 games a weekend at the most, and sometimes only 1 game a weekend on this field, but both Hampton Schools and Newport News are using this, so you got 8 teams that are using this as their home field.
Well, we're about set to have the co-captains meet at the center of the field, and we're going to tell you who those are. The co-captains for or actually I guess say the tri-captains for Bethel are Brian Gwaltney, number 7, number 68, or rather number 44, first of all, is Troy Fullwood, and number 68 is Casey Williams. They are the tri-captains.
You got 4 captains on the other side of the field. Maybe we'll hear the official.
Silver. Captain Silver. No. Smith.
You can hear the wind.
Gentlemen, I'd like for you to meet the captains of Bethel's team here. Shake hands, please.
That sound you're hearing is the wind.
All right, gentlemen, before we flip the coin here, the other officials for tonight, starting on my right, is Mr. Moore is the head linesman, Mr. Hurst is the umpire, Mr. Young is the judge, Mr. Rawls is the line judge. Okay, I have a coin here, it has a head on one side, a tail on one side. We've done a pregame, but we're going to flip it again for the sake of the fans, okay? All right. You win the toss. You elected to defer your choice. All right, you've deferred your choice to the second half. It was your choice. You elected to defend a goal. You elected to defend this goal, and you elected to... Would you turn your back to the goals you're going to defend, please?
What happened, Tim, if you missed it, Denbigh won the toss, deferred till the second half, which gives Bethel the choice of the goal they're going to defend, and of course they're going to put the win to their back.
And they will, in fact, receive to start the ball game. And again, we apologize for the sound that you're getting. The quality from the referee is not as good as it could be, but that's not because of the mic. It's because of the very strong wind that is buffeting the field right now. And where we had a concern for rain earlier, it does not appear that rain will be a factor, at least not at this time. But the wind is going to be a real problem as it's blowing away the yard markers that tell you where the which numbers you're working with here. And other than the fact that this field is just gorgeous, we would have a problem. But once again, the Todd Stadium crew has done their usual superb job in preparing for this.
Well, I see that the markers on the other side haven't come down yet, just most of them on this side. So maybe we'll pick them up from the other side anyway. But Bethel will be starting off, and Denbigh is kicking into a strong wind. So that's going to be a real short kick unless he keeps it real low. The kicker is for Denbigh. I can't pick up his number. You got your eagle eyes on there, Mr. Cole. Looks like number 7, Brian Edlow. Is that who it is?
No, actually it's number 2. That's Eric Lloyd. So
okay.
he'll kick off, and he'll also do the punting. And he's not a bad kicker either. He's leading the district in punting average per game. All right, we're about set to go. 4 12-minute quarters, and we are underway. It's not a particularly long kick, but a better kick than you might expect, taken at the 20-yard line and bursting through the middle.
Wow, what a nice run back.
All the way down to the 26-yard line. Corey Hodge, who has had difficulty getting loose this year, had no problem that time.
He busted a seam. There was some good blocking on the wedge, and it popped him right through.
So Corey Hodge gets the Bethel Bruins great field position at the 26-yard line. We'll get a chance to see this again. We may have to wait until...
Well, here it is.
You'll
notice he gets the ball, and he gets good blocking, and right there he finds a seam, and boom, he goes right through, breaks 2 tackles, and made a nice move that time to...
Ball is loose, and Denbigh recovers, and that was a case where the wind affected the play, I'm sure. The pitch came over to Corey Hodge, the man who just made that great return, and he just never got to the ball because apparently the wind misdirected the ball.
And that is going to be something all night long after you have a beautiful run back like you had and then turn it over on the first play. It really puts a damper into your spirits.
Brian Edlow is the quarterback for the Patriots. Red, white, and blue, Denbigh Patriots. Middle of the line, not much happening there as the Bethel defense was waiting on the ball carrier.
Well, the defense was probably chastised a little bit from last week's game. Kicketan had 2 long runs on really broken plays, and Kaz's defense, he couldn't believe his defense let that happen. So I know that they worked on defense this week.
That was Dante Rivera, and a fumble on the snap. Edlow pops it up in the air and then grabs it. And what turned out to be a busted play gets a couple of yards. You know, busted plays, I talked to Coach Kaz before the game. It's not often you get beat by busted plays, but that's what happened last week.
Absolutely. The first long run and then the first score both came off of busted plays.
3rd down for the Denbigh Patriots. 3rd down and 8 on a 1-yard gain on that last play. A fumble and a recovery by Edlow. Edlow gives to Rivera, and he is dropped to the backfield on a fine defensive effort by number 39, Jeff Ogborn. Ogborn came up and put the skids right to Mr. Rivera, and the ball will now be a 4th down and almost 10 on a 2-yard loss on the play.
Well, he came from his linebacker spot and shot the gap and threw the quarterback, threw the runner for a loss, which brings up a kicking situation. And again, let's see how the wind affects this punt. And it could affect the center.
Lloyd gets a good snap. It's a low kick, and it goes over the receiver's head, and then he slips and falls at the 33-yard line. So losing his footing was Robbie Robinson, number 14, who has alternated at quarterback along with Troy Fullwood.
And it looks like Robbie is going to start the game. I didn't catch it. He was on the first.
Fullwood was the starter at the beginning of the game, but Robinson will be back in. I believe it was Fullwood on that one play that they had.
We have the official out there. Kenny Self has the mic on, so we will be listening for him above the wind.
Robbie Robinson calling the signals. Pitches back to Hodge. Corey Hodge, left side for a couple. Over there, among others, on the stop for the Denbigh Patriots was number 8, Deneen Witherspoon. So he picks up 2, and it's 2nd down and 8. Second possession of the game for the Bruins. They fumbled it on the first exchange after a brilliant return from Corey Hodge. Robbie Robinson splits the backs. And now we've got a flag down.
And that was before the whistle blew, so there may have been some movement in the line. As if there is, and that's the call, it'll go against the Bruins.
Illegal procedure. You saw Kenny Self in a moment. He'll tell us what it was.
Dead ball. False.
As a false start is what he was saying. And that's what happens sometimes when the wind is blowing, and that's going to create some problems going through the ear holes on your helmet. And he may have just not picked up the signal count.
Robinson wants to pass over the middle, throws for Hodge, and it's behind him and low. So that stops the clock with 8:31 remaining in the first quarter. We just are nicely underway here from Todd Stadium. No score between the Denbigh Patriots defending to our right and the Bethel Bruins with the ball. A brisk night at Todd Stadium after what was a warm and sultry afternoon.
This is definitely a fall day.
3rd down and 13 for the Bruins. Inside handoff. Steve Hodges goes to the outside. Good lateral pursuit by the Denbigh Patriots. Among others over there was number 77, Marcus Upton.
Well, what happened that time, that was a counter play, and could he have popped through the line of scrimmage, he could have picked up some yardage. The hole was plugged up, which made him go laterally. Denbigh did a good job of forcing the play east and west rather than north and south. Good defensive job.
Momentary timeout on the field as the officials are making a quick equipment repair to one of the Denbigh Patriots.
Number 99, Mike Taylor, is in the kick, and Coach Kaz told me that prior to last week, was averaging about 41 yards a kick, and the reason he's got number 99 on is he's 99 and 100% foot or leg. But he'll get a leg into this thing, and if he gets it up in the air.
Well, he gets it up in the air, but he didn't get much foot into it, so he will get a nice roll out of it, and Bethel will be glad to take that, as the ball will roll dead at the 26-yard line, where Denbigh will start for the second possession of the game for them.
Well, that ball traveled from the 34 to the 26, so he did get a lot of help on that roll. And they'll bring in the Denbigh Patriots for the second time with the ball, starting at their own 26.
Not much offense so far for either team. Neither team has recorded a first down as of yet. Ryan Edlow continues at quarterback on the draw play. And well diagnosed again by the Bethel Bruins.
And they're a swarming defense. I mean, one guy hits him, it seems like it's like popcorn. Boom, 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 boom. You got 2, 3, 4 more coming in there. And that's what you want. You want an aggressive defense out there.
Ball carrier this last time was Damon Williams, number 1. Pickup of about a yard.
I'll be very surprised if Denbigh puts the ball up in this wind, especially with it blowing into your face.
Williams again gets the call, and again, Bethel is there waiting for him. Juan Shackelford, number 75, a name that we mentioned on numerous occasions last week.
Well, his father, Lou Shackelford, was a second basketball coach at Bethel High School. And it's good to see his son playing well. Kaz is real high on this young man.
So it's 3rd down and about 7 for the Patriots at their 29-yard line. Edlow had some difficulty getting his mouthpiece in And again, not much happening. A flag goes down.
Yeah, I don't know what that could be, but you look for something like maybe a face mask or something. I couldn't see if there was another defender over there trying to block or not. If it was, it could have been a clip. So let's see what happens. It is a face mask.
Well, you have been on the nose today. Dante Rivera was the ball carrier. Bethel did a great job of stopping the run, but now it would appear that Denbigh will end up with a first down as a result of a penalty. So after stopping the play, a penalty flag is thrown. Here we go. Here's your explanation.
Face mask, defense, first down.
So the initial first down of the ball game is recorded, and it comes via the penalty.
Well, you hate to make mistakes, and especially when you're the defensive team, then you've just stopped the other team. They were going to have to punt the ball, and then you give them a free first down.
Edlow pitches back to Williams. Williams, good open field tackle. Again.
Number 39 is in there. That's Jeff Ogburn.
Jeff Ogburn has done a great job so far.
That's not the first time you called his name tonight, and we're just about 7 minutes into this ball game.
So Ogburn is coming up big. You know, I talked to Kaz before the game, and he was obviously disappointed with the loss to Kecoughtan last week. Said that the team just made too many errors at key portions of time, and then they got beaten by the busted play, which is something you just can't defend against. So he was hoping that the team would have the right attitude tonight and keep the mental mistakes down to a minimum, and so far they seem to be doing a pretty good job, other than that face mask call, as Damon Williams bobs and weaves for Denbigh and gets what appears to be a first down, and it is a first down. So the second first down of the ball game for Denbigh, and the first on the ground.
That was a scissors or a counter play that if you'll notice on the replay, he fakes to the first man through and gives to the second man going on the other side, and they did a nice job of cross blocking in the line. The guard and the tackle just blocked opposite men and did a good job.
Mike Britt, the ball carrier this time for the Patriots, as they are in Bethel territory. The ball is marked just across the 44-yard line. Pickup of a long 2, let's call it 3, and it'll be second down and 7 for the Patriots. Denbigh, of course, engineering the upset victory over the Hampton Crabbers, and then last week were defeated by the team that Hampton beat to open the season, the Tab Tigers. So the parity, as I mentioned before, without being too redundant, continues on the peninsula.
Well, I'll tell you, Denbigh is doing a good job moving that ball. They only pick it up 3 yards at a time, but sometimes they're picking up 4 and 5 yards, and they're beating Bethel off the ball right now. They are doing a much better job. We'll see on the replay where it's a straight ahead dive, just a handoff. Oh, that's the play before.
Joe likes to make sure we're on our toes.
Well, Joe caught me that time.
Third down now for the Patriots. Third down and about 5.
Third down and a short 5.
And what might have been either a quarterback draw or a busted play will come up short of the first down, as Edlow, the quarterback, kept the football. I'm not sure he bobbled it. It may have been a design play.
I don't think it was a design play. I think he did mishandle it, but that was a very smart move on his part, because he did pick up a couple yards, but as you said, it brings up a 4th and short. Hey, this is a point you might just go for it. And he's across the 40 at about the 38. So let's see. Yeah, he is going for it. I don't see anybody going back to punt. Gutsy call this early in the game.
It'll be close, but it would appear that he does have the first down.
And that was a counter. They're doing a good job. A counter what it will do is it'll take an aggressive team on defense like Bethel, and it'll use that aggression against you.
Now let me make a point here. They've marked the ball back further than they appeared he would have gotten, so I don't think he got the first down.
Watch this thing. It's a handoff to the wingback.
Eric
the
Lloyd.
split end. coming across.
Yeah, he did not get the first down. He's going to be short because of where the mark came.
That was close.
Yeah, that was real close. I thought he had the first down.
He again, you got to go by where the knee goes down, I guess. If the knee goes down first and he falls forward, he doesn't get that extra 2 or 3 feet.
Well, apparently that's the way they marked it. Of course, the official's right on top of the play and very much aware of the closeness of the necessity for the first down. So the Bruin defense comes up big as they are able to stop Eric Lloyd short of the first down, and they take over at their 37-yard line. No score, 2:40 as the first quarter is moving quite rapidly. Neither team has gone to the air.
And they're in a double wing formation.
And Robinson now will, in fact, go to the air. He throws it up for grabs as that ball almost was picked off. His intended receiver downfield was Steve Hodges. And a Denbigh player had a better shot at catching that ball. Coach Kozlowski.
And see, the wind sometimes is going to make that ball float a little bit. And that may have happened that time.
You can see the back of Coach Kozlowski as he was yelling encouragement to his team, telling them what he wanted them to do.
Well, number 33 for the Bruins goes in. That's, I can't even read that. But anyway, number 33 went in.
For
the Bruins.
For the Bruins, okay.
He's at fullback.
That's Marcus Muscali. This is Corey Hodge as he crosses the 40 to about the 41.
And that's just a straight sweep play. Pitch the ball, get a couple blockers out in front of you. But I'll tell you, the Denbigh Patriots are doing a good job defensively. They are a very aggressive team. Kaz may think about running a counter play or a reverse or something to catch that aggressiveness into his own favor.
So far, the Bruins have got a total of 8 yards on the ground, and that's the fact that their total offense here for the first quarter, and we are inside of 2 minutes to go here in the first quarter. So the Denbigh defense, which has been outstanding all year, continues to do a good job. Flags are down. Hodge is the pass receiver near the first down marker. Corey Hodge.
And now I'm going to put you on the spot, Eagle Eye. Of course, we got a penalty, but that's a close call.
Oh, it is. I'm going to say that if the penalty is notwithstanding, then it'll be a first down. But let's see. It may be totally irrelevant because they're talking to the Denbigh Patriots.
Well, they're talking to the Patriots. It's going to be against the Bruins. And here you can see it. That was a nice pass. But it's may go for naught.
1:41 remaining here in the first quarter. No score. Tim Cole and Bob Hintz from Todd Stadium as we are going for the doubleheader today. We were here earlier for the game between the Phoebus Phantoms and the Woodrow Wilson Presidents. And the Wilson Presidents impressed the heck out of us as they blew away.
Illegal shift, offense, third down.
There you see referee Kenny Self explaining the call, illegal shift. And the penalty negates what might have been a first down. So now it's third down and 11.
And they shift into a double wing, and which is a passing formation.
Over the middle, it's complete. Across midfield, down to the 47-yard line.
And
it's
that's
the first
to number
down.
11. That's Rodney Bowens, and he was open on the last play, but he hit the short man.
Rodney Bowens on the receiving end. And he picks up a first down for the Bruins, and that will be their first down of the ball game. First down for the Bruins in Denbigh territory. No score, minute 15 to go in the first quarter. Both teams 2-1 on the season. Rolling to his left, Robinson looking downfield. Passing back, what a great pass.
Wow, I didn't even see that guy being open. That was a tough pass.
Craig Rainey, who has been superb in catching passes for the Bruins this year, makes the grab.
If you remember last week, we saw him on his knees reach out and catch a ball with one hand, which was amazing.
One of the most spectacular catches that I have ever seen. And now we've got a timeout as the Bruins are calling for the timeout. Get a chance to watch this on the replay. Rainey ducked his head just in time to keep from catching a helmet in the face.
We sure did. Well, while Kaz is going out to talk to his players, we want to make mention of Turner Sports Place, which have donated the shirts for our staff, and they've got a nice logo on the back, which was made up by Diane Bowers, the better half of Scotty and Diane, right? But anyway, the shirts were donated by the Turner Sport Place in Willow Oak Shopping Center. Turner specializes in team sports as well as custom screen printing items. Turner's now stocks various professional sports clothing such as the Redskins and Oriole items. Turner Sports Place also has a state-of-the-art screen printing operation which can serve your every need, from team sports to the very intricate multicolored design. So remember, Turner Sports Place is your one-stop sports shop. Just ask for Dave, Chubb, or Bruce, right?
You wrote that, did you? One-stop sports shop?
I copied that from Dave Chubb, but I tell you, that was a tongue twister.
I'm telling you. You did a good job on that.
I'm proud of myself. That's the first time I got through without falling on my tongue.
48 ticks of the clock remaining here in the first quarter. No score between the Denbigh Patriots and the Bethel Bruins. Again, those of you that have been living in a cave and don't know about it, next Friday night, Darling Stadium's grand opening. The game between the Hampton Crabbers and the Kecoughtan Warriors. We'll be there. We hope you are there. It'll be the place to be.
And both of them are coming off of good wins.
Again, Robinson in passing formation. Throws the bomb in the corner. He's got a man open. He's got a touchdown.
Oh, man, what a pass.
Rodney Bowens.
Believe that the defensive back thought that he could throw the ball that far. Look on this replay. He rears back and throws it to the corner of the end zone. He being Rodney Robinson, and just really throws this ball and carries across field to the corner. And I don't believe the Denbigh Patriot cornerback thought that the ball could go that far. I really don't.
Well, Robbie Robinson threw a strike.
And we got Mr. Troy Fullwood in number 44 to attempt the point after, with Brian Gwaltney is holding, and we have some movement.
The scoring drive for the Bethel Bruins, 63 yards, 5 plays, and it's a 2 minutes and 13 seconds.
2 minutes and 13 seconds is all it took for the Bruins to move in 5 plays. 63 yards. And they're still discussing what's going to happen on the extra point here.
Well, if it's against the Patriots, Kaz may decide to go for 2, because that'll take the ball, and it is against the Patriots. It'll move the ball down.
All right, dead ball foul, encroachment, defense, do the try over.
Well, that's against the Patriots, and that's encroachment. They're in the neutral zone too soon, but it looks like they're going to go ahead and kick the extra point after all.
So Troy Fullwood will be kicking out of Brian Gwaltney's hold. The Bruins have gone on top by the score of 6-0. A 41-yard pass from Robbie Robinson to Rodney Bowens. The extra point is good by Fullwood. And our score now with 41 seconds remaining here in the first quarter. The Bethel Bruins 7 and the Denbigh Patriots nothing.
Well, I think it was very important for Bethel to get on the scoreboard first, especially with the wind at their back, because in 41 ticks of the clock, like you were talking about, they're going to have that wind in their face, and we're going to see a replay again of that extra point. And Fullwood does a good job of keeping his head down, but boy, that ball went about 20 yards beyond. He could have kicked that from the 30. Kaz has got these ball players fired up, and he does a good job of that. But watch it, if Mr. Fullwood gets this ball in the end zone, there is no run back. And he may have to get somebody to hold it up for him and see if the wind blew it over.
And getting off the Bethel Bruins after that score, number 44, Troy Fullwood.
Robinson coming into this game is 3rd in the Peninsula District in passing, and that one goes through the end zone.
In and out of the end zone. Robinson was what, 3rd in the district?
3rd in the district coming into this game. In 3 games, he had completed 17 of 32 tries for an average of 93 yards per game. There you see a good look at Dennis Kozlowski, the very likable coach of Bethel. And you talk about intensity in the dictionary, right next to the word intensity, they got his picture. He likes to win.
Oh, he does that, and he doesn't pull any punches about it. He's very upset when he loses, but he will take some of those things and turn them into positives. And he's a good coach when it comes to using psychology.
And Bethel defense is fired up now as Damon Williams is dropped in the backfield for a loss. Half a minute remaining in the first quarter. So a 5-yard loss for Williams on the play. Make that a 4-yard loss as they mark it at the 16-yard line.
Well, they got 25 seconds to get the ball in play, and the referee blew the whistle with 23 seconds, so they could actually let the time go down and just change ends of the field, but they're not going to do it because they're not aware of that. Nice hole.
There was a late flag. I was going to say there's face mask all over the place as someone grabbed a hold of Damon Williams' face mask as he was going down, so that'll be an extra 15 tacked on, or at least 5 perhaps.
And you'll see that on a replay. You picked it up, your eagle eye, and this just a quick hitter and a nice blocking, and Ogburn gets pushed out of the way, and right there, the face mask.
Well, that was the first one. Now there's even more blatant than that coming up if we follow this through. I think we'll also see someone else come over and get him. So they got him real good that time, and that'll cost Bethel. Of course, they're going to end up switching ends of the field because the time ran out on the first quarter. Now we'll see what now they're going to call him back, so I may be premature in that. I'm not sure exactly what's going to transpire. We'll wait and see. The officials have called them back. They're marking off the penalty.
Well, made the
Face mask, defense, first down. Penalty happened on the last time down. Therefore, we will have an untimed down in this quarter.
So you can't finish a quarter or a half or a ball game on a defensive foul. So they will have one more play with no time on the clock. And that's what I thought was going to happen when he called him back.
41-yard line is the line of scrimmage. Williams on the sweep, and he falls and slips on the wet turf. It's not real bad out there, but there are spots of slipperiness. So on that, the first quarter will come to an end, and that'll result in about a 3-yard loss on the play for Williams. So he's gone backwards on his last 2 tries. And we've completed 1 quarter of the Bethel Bruins on the strength of a 41-yard pass to Rodney Bowen from Robbie Robinson, and an extra point by Troy Fullwood, lead by the score of 7-0. Games played this weekend that you may or may not be aware of. Of course, Hampton won Friday night in a 48-6 romp over the Mansfield Monarchs. The Kecoughtan Warriors continued their winning ways with a 23-20 victory over a very strong Norview team. The Phoebus Phantoms Saturday afternoon fell victim to the Woodrow Wilson Presidents by the score of 41-0. And the Warren Raiders pulled out a 1-point victory over the Lafayette Rams, 13-12 Friday night in Williamsburg. And Thursday night, the York High School Falcons defeated the Ferguson Mariners.
And you read those things without, I mean, they come right out of your head, didn't they?
Right out of my mouth. I had them stored in there. My computer is working a little bit tonight. I'm not sure what the second half will be like.
We'll see.
So it's a first down for the, it should be second down for the Patriots. Finally bulldogged to the ground is number 42, that's Dante Rivera. As he was not about to give up, he dragged a couple of Bruins with him.
He most certainly did. That was just a draw play, and he got as much out of that as you could get out of it, because he was hit 3 or 4 times, and as you'll see on the replay, and he just didn't give up. It's just a simple draw play, and he's tripped up there. He misses 1, 2, 3 right there, and he still maintains his balance, and it took 2 more hits for him to come. Look at that, 3 more people to hit him, take him down.
Brings up a 3rd down and 7. On the screen pass, it's a one-hopper to the defender on the play.
It better been a one-hopper. Number 39, your man so far, Ogburn, had his sights on that ball.
Said, please hit me in the head. Nothing but green turf between him and 6 points. So the clock stops with 11:15 remaining here in the first half. And once again, we have to battle the band tonight, Bob.
You said something about wanting to have a crowd noise. You got it.
I had to take that crowd mic and strangle somebody with it. Pretty good kick. Backs up the receiver to the 14-yard line. This is Steve Hodges, and he crosses the 20 to about the 23. And a flag is down on the play.
It may come out for spearing. I saw the guy over on the far side reaching for the flag, but Hodges was down. It may either be a late hit or no, they're going to call clipping against Bruins. I'm sorry. I missed one. First one today.
First one. You've called them all right. If fans have watched the Phoebus game that we did earlier today. Bob, you called those. We even had a penalty for
improper equipment.
Improper equipment, yeah.
And I got it.
You got it.
And I don't know how I got it, but I just knew.
I'd play the lottery on the way home.
On the receiving team, during the run back, 1st down.
Well, now they really puts them back on about the 10-yard line, so you can't make a mistake if you're Bethel. You can't make a mistake down here. You got to keep the ball in your hands and in your position and get a couple of first downs because you'll be kicking into a stiff wind.
Robbie Robinson is the quarterback. Corey Hodge gets the call for about, well, let's see, about 5. Well, make that 4. He got 4 on the play. They marked the ball at the 15-yard line.
They picked up just about 5 yards, and here it is. It's just a straight handoff from the wishbone, and he gets a pretty good blocking at the point of contact.
Again, Corey Hodge gets the call as he struggles out close to a first down. He'll be a little short of the first down.
Yeah, he looks like he's got to get to about the 11, and the ball will be spotted just short of the 10.
Well, actually, it's the, I don't mean to correct you, but it's the 20. He's at the 20.
Yeah.
He needs to get to the 21. Again, the yard markers are hard to spot at times here at Todd Stadium.
Well, I knew that. I just was checking to see if you were paying attention to what I say.
I'm so excited about going to the new Darling Stadium next Friday night.
I am looking forward to that.
I'd love to see a full house for that game. They certainly should, as you got 2 excellent teams playing, Hampton and Kecoughtan. So we encourage you to come out for that game.
And that's just straight power football. Bethel is just getting into the wishbone formation, and they're just running a power football right up the gut. Picked up the first down. That's very smart football. As you can see, they go over the left side. They got some good blockers on the left side. And he follows his blockers real well, does Hodges.
Hodge.
Well, I knew it had to be one of them. It's either Hodge or Hodges.
24-yard line. First down for the Bruins. This again is Corey Hodge. And Hodge, who is overdue for a good game, gets out to the 34, almost the 35. That may be a first down.
Corey did a good job with getting around that end, and then he's got some excellent speed.
And he's got the first down. Watch the replay here. That's the previous play. That was the previous play, but Hodge did, in fact, get the first down. They marked it squarely at the 35-yard line.
And Corey Hodge is number 10 in AAA VHSL rushing list as of last week, so he's maybe moving up a little bit.
This is Paul London getting the call for the first time. We saw him run pretty well last week against Kecoughtan.
And in a very bad conditions.
And London this time picks up about 3. The ball is marked just short of the 38-yard line. So as we had expected would be the case, the Bruins are sticking to the ground. There you see the replay as London gets his 3.
Well, if they're going into that strong wind, and if you're going into that wind, you don't want to be throwing the ball or getting yourself in a position you have to throw the ball.
Steve Hodges Another first down for the Bruins.
And he's a quick little guy. That guy is the indoor district 60-yard sprint champion. He was the 6th in the state in indoor last year, so he's got some speed.
And that was that little trap play. We'll watch the replay of this. You'll see they trap in the middle there and open up a great big hole for Steve Hodges. And he does a good job of running after he finds that hole and picks up more than enough for the first down out at midfield. So the Bruins moving the football. First down, 8 minutes and 10 seconds to go in the half, and they lead 7-0. This again is Steve Hodges. And he'll pick up a yard, maybe 2.
Well, they started at their own 10-yard line, and they have yet to make a mistake, and that's what you call is good coaching, but it's solid offensive football. There's nothing fancy about it. They're not doing a pitch. They're not making, it's not high risk, not putting the ball in the air, and they're wanting to run that ball all the way down and score, and if they can take most of the time off the clock doing it.
Cos would love nothing better than to see Bethel control this football and take it in for a score. There's no question about that. Put the pressure on the Denbigh defense. Pitch back comes to Steve Hodges. He's being chased and is tripped up on a good defensive effort that time. Coming over for the Denbigh Patriots was Victor Smith, number 46.
Well, he did a good job because Steve Hodges is, I was telling you about, is the 60-yard sprint champion in the district last year. But he was caught from behind and just got back to about the line of scrimmage and perhaps may have lost a yard. We have an injured Bruin on the field. I can't catch his number right now, but it looks like he may have injured a shoulder or something. We'll see the replay of the nice defensive play by the Patriots.
Just a real fine open field tackle performed by Victor Smith there, number 46 of Denbigh. The injured Bethel player is still down, and as of this moment, we cannot make out exactly who it is. He is on his knees and may have just had the wind knocked out of him. We hope that's the case, as he is now helped to his feet. And we'll see him come out. Well, he's holding his left shoulder.
It looked like he had a shoulder injury the way the coach was helping him. That's looks like number, I can't get it, 89? Looks like it's 89, and if that's the case, that's Steve Turner.
And he is hurting for certain as he is doubled over again. So he is not doing real well. He's going to go down to a knee here. And again, we saw this in the game between Phoebus and Wilson. There's no reason to hurry off that field.
No, sir.
If you're not doing real well, you just take it easy, and at whatever length of time it takes to get you off, that's what happens. Again, our concerns for Mike Bowens of Phoebus, who was injured in the game this afternoon and was taken off the field and taken by ambulance to a hospital. We certainly hope for the best for his speedy recovery, as he was shaken up on a play late in that game with Wilson, and our best thoughts go out to him. So Turner now looks like he's going to be able to continue off the field, and at least we're happy to see that, but he is definitely in some pain, and hopefully it's nothing of major consequences.
As Frank Brown, the gentleman on his right, and Dr. White on the left, and Frank is the trainer for the Bruins, played football for Coach Kaz.
That's who it is, 89, Steve Turner. So it's third down now for the Bruins, third down and about 8 at the 48 of Denbigh. Robinson wants to pass. He's got it completed to Corey Hodge at the 33-yard line.
I would have not thought he'd put the ball up in that wind, but I've been out-thought before and out-coached before. What are you doing there, Tim? Hang yourself.
Coach Kozlowski comes up with a surprise play as all the way down to the 33.
Watch this replay. Nice fake, just a real quick throw and a wide open receiver, and that was an excellent throw because he was still moving and never did set his feet, which makes it a little tougher to even throw the ball when that happens.
First down again for the Bruins. London moves into a slot, as does Marcus Muscally. Back to pass again over the middle in a crowd, almost caught. Paul London was there. He had double coverage, and yet Robinson still almost completed the pass.
I tell you, that was a dangerous pass because of the double coverage, but Denbigh was definitely ready for that pass, as we'll see on the replay. Robbie just drops straight back, throws the ball, and there is a crowd around London, and he almost completes the pass. That was an excellent throw by Robinson.
10 plays in this drive, and 3 first downs registered for the Bruins. Again, struggling forward is Corey Hodge. So Hodge is getting a workout here in the first quarter.
He most certainly is.
7 attempts for 35 yards so far for Corey Hodge. You get a chance to watch this again. Just power football, like you said. And the Denver defense did a good job, but Corey Hodge showed good determination that time to get some yardage.
Well, he follows his blockers real well. He was, the hole was blocked up, and he just cut off back into the right and picked up 4 yards.
Troy Fullwood checks in at quarterback for the Bruins, and now we have whistles and flags. So.
There was a quick jump on the right side. I believe the right end jumped too soon, which would mean that it's illegal procedure against the Bruins, and that'll happen when you bring in a different quarterback and has a little different cadence count than the quarterback before, and that's one of the things that you're going to end up with. But Coach Kaz feels very comfortable of using all 3 quarterbacks.
False start, offense, still 3rd down.
But now it brings up a different situation. You're 3rd and long rather than 3rd and short. But Mr. Fullwood can throw the ball also.
Well, he's thrown 9 passes, completed 4, 75 yards total on the season, averaging 25 yards per game. Fullwood on the option, now pitches at the last second to Paul London, and Paul London goes out of bounds at about the 28-yard line, which will be well short of a first down. It'll bring up a 4th down and a decision time for Coach Kozlowski. You know what? One of the things I meant to ask Kaz is what dictates when he will use Fullwood versus Robinson?
Fullwood is more of a running quarterback. As you notice, he ran the triple option that time, and he's a good quarterback. And you notice he did pitch but waited till the last moment. But he could have kept the ball and run. He's a much better running quarterback than is Robinson. Robinson's a better passing quarterback. Gwatney can do both. But, you know, it's hard to split your playing time between 3 quarterbacks. I mean, it's tough enough to do it between 2. But when you have 3 quarterbacks, all 3 seniors, and they're good, and last year it was Fullwood and Gwatney, but Robinson is just a better passer, and he's getting more playing time because of that.
Timeout has been called, and 5 minutes and 3 seconds remains here in the first quarter. If you just joined us, you're watching the Bethel Bruins, and they are the team with the ball in the green and gold. The other team is the Denbigh Patriots, and they are trailing 7-0 on a 41-yard pass play from Robbie Robinson to Rodney Bowen in the first quarter, and the extra point by Troy Fullwood was good, and that's the score as we have it right now with 5:03 to go in the first half. The Bethel Bruins and the Denbigh Patriots. The Denbigh Patriots, the last undefeated team in the Peninsula District. And, of course, the Bethel Bruins trying to get a shot at that first place position.
Well, yeah, they sure are, but now it's 4th down and a long 4, and Fullwood is still the quarterback. So they're going to, well, no, they broke out of they're set into a double wing.
Fullwood had the ball on the mark.
And hit number 11, Rodney Bowens, right in the chest.
Rodney Bowens was open, and he had a chance at the ball. So Fullwood, although, as you said, he is predominantly a running quarterback, rifled that shot, and Bowens just couldn't hold on to it. There you see a concerned look on Dennis Kozlowski's face as he had hoped, of course, to get that first down. So the ball goes over on downs.
I don't know how long he had that ball, but they had that ball a long time because they run that ball from the 10-yard line all the way down to the 20, looks like the 29-yard line. And there was a replay of that pass.
Had 11 plays and 3 first downs, but they came up with no points.
And there's that cross buck in the back, or a scissors play, or a counter play, whatever you want to call it. And that's been real heady for this Denbigh Patriot team. They've picked up a lot of yardage on that play.
Williams picked up 12 that time. Williams gets the ball out to the 39-yard line, enough for a first down for the Patriots. First downs now, find Bethel with 6, and the Patriots have 4. Edlow throws the bomb, has a man open, and he just drops the football. Oh, that'll make you go gray.
That ball, that man was wide open, and the defenders, when they found out about it, they started going back. But the ball, wind may have caused that to move a little bit on the throw, but he was open, as you said. Nice fake.
Edlow got really hit hard as he let that ball go.
But it kind of dies.
Well, it did guy. He had to come back to it. But look at this. It was right in his hands, and he just simply didn't hold on to it. Defending on the play was Steve Hodges, but he was not really a factor. Mix up in the backfield as the quarterback Edlow runs into his running back, and then Edlow simply runs to the sidelines to try and salvage something from the play.
But that's not the first time that Edlow has run into one of his backs. That happened one other time, but they ended up making some yardage off of it. That time, he just kept the ball and ran for the sideline. He was getting out of there.
There you saw the replay as he ran into Dante Rivera, number 42. And then, as I said, he just kind of tried to salvage what he could out of it. 41-yard line is the point of play here, as it's 3rd down and 8 now for the Patriots. Edlow back to pass, gets some pressure, and now unloads, and he just kind of threw it up for grabs, and the ball goes incomplete as a pair of players, one from each side, had a shot at that ball, and in essence caused neither of them to get it.
Well, that brings up a punting situation, and this is the first time that Denbigh has punted with the wind at their back.
And there is a flag on the play.
Oh, that may be roughing the passer. If it's throwing way back there, I'll bet it's roughing the passer.
Well, let's wait and see. As Kenny said, you're on a roll here, so you might be right. They're going to mark off some yardage against the Bruins, and I'm sure Coach Kaz will not be pleased with this call.
On that replay, I didn't pick it up on the replay, but there was 3 Bethel Bruins there as he threw the ball.
Let's wait and see. What's Kenny Self going to tell us here, the referee?
Roughing the passer, defense, automatic first down.
So that really causes concern on Kaz's face, because he had a 4th and long situation, and instead they roughed the passer, and now it's first down. Pass is completed on the near side to Damon Williams. Williams has the ball across the 40 down to about the 39-yard line.
Well, that was a big penalty, a real big penalty, because that took the ball out of the Bethel Bruins' hands, who they would have had at that time, and put it right back into Denbigh. And here it is. It's a nice, just a quick pass. It's low, and number 1 for the Patriots does a good job of avoiding the tackle, and that's Devon Williams, and picked up some yardage.
Edlow on the inside reverse. Eric Lloyd gets the call. End around, flank around, whatever you want to call it.
And it's like a reverse. Yes, exactly what it was. Good call. We'll make a coach out of you yet.
Not in this lifetime, but...
Well, I heard you coached your son's team, right? Oh, that was baseball.
Baseball.
Oh, different balls.
3rd down and about, well, let's call it 3 for the first down. It's a little less than 3. They need to get to the 34-yard line to get the first down. Edlow back to pass, throws down once more than the first down, and it's going to go incomplete.
Although again, the ball was sailing a little bit, but the receiver did have a shot at it.
So now the Patriots will be looking at a 4th down and about 3. Get a chance to watch the replay here. Instead of going for the short yardage, they decided to go for a lot more.
And it went right off his hand. That was a catchable ball.
Pretty close. It was pretty tall.
There was 2 times the ball comes in there they should have caught.
And getting the first down on a nifty play was Williams. Damon Williams gets the first down for the Patriots. So Denbigh now using the clock and the ground to get the first down. They mark the ball at the 32-yard line. 1st and 10 for Denbigh. 2:39, the clock continues
And
to
you
move.
can just see this, just a real quick handoff on a dive play right up the center. Well, we got to see him sitting there. We never got to move.
Rolling out and being pressured and knocked out of bounds is Edlow for a loss on the play. Nice clear picture on our cameras tonight. Our crew doing their usual good job. It's been a long day for the crew. This is game number 2, and I guarantee it'll be the last one today.
We're not doing 3 today.
No, we're not doing 3 today. We do one tonight, it'll be in your dreams.
That'll happen, I'm sure.
2:24 remains here in the first half. Bethel holding on to a 7-0 lead. Tim Cole with Bob Hintz, and we are A.G. Womble less, as A.G. had prior commitments that prevented him from being with us tonight.
And that commitment was Mrs. Womble.
You said it, not me. A lateral and a second throw downfield is picked off. Robbie Robinson has the football for the Bethel Bruins.
Well, that was a nice play, and it almost worked. Robbie did an excellent job of coming up with that ball.
Donald Rhodes took the lateral from Edlow. It looked like a pass, but in fact it was a lateral, and then he threw downfield, and Robbie Robinson wrestled the ball away from the intended receiver. We'll get a chance to watch this again. We see Robinson trotting back on the field. Now watch, he throws it behind the line of scrimmage, and then Rhodes, without even any hesitation at all, throws downfield. Not a bad pass, but Robinson did a good job of intercepting. 1:57 remains here in the first quarter. Robinson is the quarterback. Left side carry for a couple of tough yards. We'll return to Todd Stadium with more action, but first let's take a brief timeout. Ball is loose and fallen upon by the Bethel Bruins. Looked like the ball may have popped loose there for a minute, and Robinson covered it up.
You don't want to be turning the ball over at that end of the field. You have less than a minute to go.
You don't ever want to do it, but certainly not in this situation. Now the officials are going to call a timeout. Denbigh wants a timeout to conserve time, as it's going to be 3rd down and about 6 for the Denbigh Patriots.
Want to talk about our shirts again, Tim?
Oh, a double plug, huh?
Oh, double plug, but what do we got in here? Got some, but sports play, I don't have that in. We'll just talk about the sports place in Willow Oak Shopping Center, who was very kind to donate these staff shirts to the crew that says WHCS Channel 29 on the back and Turner Sports Place on the front. Turner's stocks various professional sports clothing, such as the Redskins and Oriole items, as we will see the back of Sam's, Dr. Sam's shirt here. Turner Sports Place also has the state-of-the-art screen printing operation, which can serve your every needs, from team sports to very intricate multicolored designs, and you can see that huge back there. So remember, Turner Sports Place is your one-stop sports shop. Just ask for Dave Chubb or for Bruce, and we sure appreciate it. That's a good shot of Dr. Sam's back.
We use it for white balancing the cameras, I understand.
Is that what we do?
Play back, ready to resume here. 3rd down and 6 for the Bruins, deep in their own territory. This is Corey Hodge, and he does not get the first down. So the timeout by Denbigh conserves time. The ball is going to be marked at the 19. And they need to get to the 22 for the first down. So it'll be 4th down and 3 for Bethel, and Denbigh calls another timeout with 41 seconds to go. They obviously want to take advantage of the possibility that Bethel will be kicking into the wind.
Well, not only that, but what if you block the punt? And I'm sure they're going to put a block on. I would rush 10 men and put one guy back, because the ball's not going to go very far anyway into this tough wind. So, you know, you take all the advantages you can. And we'll see whether they're going to try to block it or not. Number 99 for the Bruins is the punter. And that's young Mr. Mike Taylor. So let's see what Mike does. And you know, they may be looking like they may be setting up a return. So there's another ploy. Well, they got 8 men up on the line of scrimmage, so they may be going in for the block.
Taylor will be standing at his 6-yard line. And we have movement, and that's going to be a first down.
And at 5 yards, and you're over anxious. That was a good move if it's against Denbigh, because that puts them into position.
Dead ball foul, encroachment, defense, first down.
All right, so the Bethel Bruins are going to be benefiting by encroachment by Denbigh, so a big play there. They may have tried to draw Denbigh off, and if they did, it was successful.
Well, you just changed the cadence count. You got the quarterback, Fullwood, sitting back there as a blocker, and he's the one that's calling the cadence. And he just changed the cadence count.
Flags go down as Corey Hodge is the ball carrier. Line of scrimmage was the 24. Hodge is out to the 28. It's a 4-yard gain, but we're going to see a holding call against the Bethel Bruins.
The Bruins have been guilty all night of making penalties. They've had several face masks and the holding on this call, and a couple of clips in there. So Coach Guys wants aggressiveness, but you can't be hurting yourself by doing that. But there's only 35 seconds to go, and they will run the clock out, and we'll go into halftime. And at halftime, we have tonight the Miss Bethel kickoff.
That's the 7th penalty in the first half for the Bruins. 65 yards. So
the first game there wasn't but 9 for the whole game for Phoebus or for Wilson, if I remember correctly.
You don't.
It wasn't 9. I was wrong.
More than Jerry the Z here. That was for one team. I think Jerry said. No, it wasn't.
Yeah, each team had 9 penalties.
Right.
Come on, Jerry.
Pitch out goes to Hodge, and he doesn't get much. But I think Bethel, as you said, Bob, will just be content at this point to let the clock wind down, and that's apparently what they're going to do as clock continues to move. 10 seconds remains here. And without AG around here, we're going to show you a little bit of the halftime activities, but we're going to take a break at the conclusion of the first half. And then that's going to do it. So 24 minutes of play have gone by. We'll be back with some halftime activities from Todd Stadium. But first, let's take this brief timeout. There you see the score, the Bethel Bruins 7, the Denbigh Patriots no score. We'll be right back with more after this brief timeout. Let me know when I come.
We are proud to present to you the Bethel High School Marching Bruins Band.
And now for your halftime entertainment, the Bethel High School Marching Band.
Morgan, Ayana Williams, Bonnie Sealer, and Brian Hassler. During their halftime, the marching band will play for you Sierra. Then they will present a stage band that will play Opus 1 with trumpet soloist Chad McKee. Drum major, is the band ready?
Back at Todd Stadium in Newport News, I'm Tim Cole with Bob Hintz. We are concluding our halftime ceremonies here. The band coming off the field and coming on the field are the Denbigh Patriots. And momentarily, we will undoubtedly see the Bethel Bruins, as at halftime our score, Bethel 7, Denbigh nothing. In the statistics, relatively even. We see 71 yards rushing for Bethel on 6 first downs. They had 79 yards passing on 4 out of 8, no interceptions. They fumbled twice, they lost 1. They were penalized 7 times for 65 yards, and they had the ball a little less than 14 minutes in the first half. On the Denbigh Patriots side, they had 6 first downs. They had 54 yards rushing, only 5 yards passing on 1 out of 6, and they did have 1 interception. That was by Robbie Robinson late in the first half. They fumbled the ball once. They did not lose it. They were penalized 1 time for 5 yards, and they had the ball 10 minutes and 4 seconds during our first half. Individual statistics show that the Bethel Bruins are led by Corey Hodge, who carried the ball 10 times for 47 yards, a 4.7 yard per average carry in the first half. Also, Steve Hodges had 4 carries for 16 yards for a 4 yards per carry average. 8 yards for Paul London on 2 carries, and Robbie Robinson carried 1 time and gained no yardage. In the passing category, Robbie Robinson has thrown 7 passes. He's completed 4 of them for 79 yards, and Fullwood was 0 for 1 in the passing department. Receiving, Bowens had 2 catches, one a 17-yarder and the other was a 41-yard pass. That was the one for the touchdown, as Rodney Bowens was the only man to score in the first half. Fullwood did get the extra point. Rainey caught 1 catch for 6 yards, and Corey Hodge caught 1 for 15. On the Denbigh side of the ledger, they were paced by the running of Damon Williams, who carried 9 times for 36 yards. And after that, it was very slim pickings, as Britt had 2 carries for 5, Rivera 1 for 6, 2 carries for Lloyd for a total of 3, and 5 carries for Edlow, the quarterback, and he netted 3 yards in the first half. And the passing department, just as I said, 1 out of 6 with 1 interception for the Denbigh Patriots. 1 catch, that was Williams for 5 yards. And Jerry the Z has once again come up with the ultimate stat sheet.
Well, what that doesn't show is the near completions of the Denbigh Patriots. Edlow threw the ball down a couple times that should have been completed. 1 real long one that the young man just simply dropped, which would have made a big difference because that would have put him down in scoring position. Coach Kaz is coming back out now. Denbigh has the choice the second half, whether they're going to defend a goal or take the ball. And of course, if you're kicking the ball, if you're Kaz, you're going to kick it. You want to kick with the wind to your back. So we'll see what happens starting the second half as you take a look at the Kenny Self and the rest of his crew out there in the center of the field. They're jumping around trying to get loosened up and warmed up. It's probably in the mid-50s now at least. Go 57 at game time.
Incredible switch in the temperature from this afternoon, as I'm sure if you think back to Saturday afternoon, folks, the early day temperatures were in the upper 70s. It was humid, it was sultry, muggy, whatever you want to call it. We got here and it was, it was almost oppressive. And now, as you said, in the 50s, certainly going to be the coldest night of the year. And it's chilly for the football players, but this is kind of weather I like to play football in.
Well,
if it weren't for the wind.
I'm sure they do too, because you're not going to get winded and you're not going to be tired because of sweating and the humidity, which will drain a lot of your strength from you. But Bethel will be kicking into that stiff wind. The Patriots will have the ball, have the wind to their back, so this kind of goes in Bethel's favor. Bethel would love to have the win in the fourth quarter, in which they will have.
Our only score was that 41-yard pass from Robbie Robinson to Rodney. I just drew a blank.
Bowens.
Rodney Bowens, thank you. I drew a blank on his name. All of a sudden, the brain just fried out on me.
Well, that's okay. We've been doing this. We'll be doing it tonight in our sleep. Troy Fullwood will be kicking off for the Bruins. Number 44, as you see right there in the right of your screen.
Damon Williams standing back at his 15-yard line. It's a short kick. That ball is live and is finally picked up by the Patriots. And then bulldog to the ground is Billy Johnson. And the one doing it was Craig Ramey, number 21, on the special teams.
What you hate to see if you're the coach is a kick or a punt hit the ground. You'd want to catch it, and so you can take off and pick up some yardage. You don't want to let it hit the ground. He not only had let it hit the ground, picked it up, and then lost yardage on the trying to get around the left side.
Williams in the backfield with Edlow along with Dante Rivera. Damon Williams out across the 30. They marked the ball at the 31-yard line. Pickup of about 7. Second down and 3 for the Patriots.
And that's just a straight dive play.
Williams struggles close to a first down, but I believe he's going to come up short of the first down. Tracy Brown in on the stop for the Bethel Bruins, and it's going to bring up a 3rd down and 2 for the Patriots. Just underway here in the second half. There you see head coach Dennis Kozlowski of the Bethel Bruins trying to get his team back in the winning ways. They won their first 2 ball games and then fell victim to a strong effort by the Kecoughtan Warriors last Saturday night at Hampton University. First time Denbigh has used a man in motion. Edlow keeps the football and gets the first down.
Well, that was a quarterback keeper all the way unless they closed down, and then he would have pitched the ball, but he wanted to pick up the first down. That was a good call. And you're right, that's the first down. There's a man in motion.
Eric Lloyd was the wide receiver who came back towards the quarterback, and he very well could have been the receiver of a pitch had Edlow decided to do so. So they've got the first down now at the 36-yard line. That's the 7th first down in the ball game for the Denbigh Patriots. Edlow, left side handoff.
That's the same play. They've run that play 3 times at the beginning of this second half. And it's just a plain dive, and the linebacker's got to close down on that side to stop that play. If you're the Bruins.
Williams, the ball carrier. Shackelford on the stop. No gain on the play. Call it 2nd down and 10. Handoff. This time Williams gets some yardage. He's out.
And that's that crossbuck or that counter play that they have been successful with in that first half. And I thought maybe the Bruins will do some adjustments because that play hurt them.
Out close to the 44-yard line. So that was a pickup of 8 yards for Williams on the play. We'll get a chance to watch it again as he got good blocking from his offensive line.
He did
following
that.
The blocker.
He faked to the man going to the left and handed back over to the back coming on the from the right side.
He was following Steve Nurmi right up the middle and got 8 yards. So it's 3rd down and 2. The Bruins are coming, and the blitz is going to pay off as they stop the play from getting back to the line of scrimmage.
And that'll bring up a 4th down. And you've got the wind at your back, but you also aren't across midfield. So you'll see here on the replay that the linebacker just gets up and does a good timing, and that's Troy Fullwood that did that, and his timing was excellent. Had the ball been snapped a half a second later, he'd have been caught for 5 yards for encroachment.
The snap goes over the head of Lloyd. Now Lloyd has time to pick it up, but instead it elects to run with the football. And that's going to turn out to be not a very wise choice on his part because the Bruins are going to end up with great field position. However, there are some flags downfield.
He didn't realize it, and of course he kind of panicked, but Bethel did not rush anybody.
He could have kicked, really.
He really could have, but he was not. You don't think clearly, you figure they're going to tackle you, but there are 2 flags down. As you can see, the ball went way over the head of the punter, and he picked it up, and there come the Bruins, finally.
He really had time to step up and kick.
It was a nice block there, but this block took almost took the runner down. The penalty evidently is against
It was against Denbigh, and of course Bethel will refuse the penalty, and I'm not sure of the actual signal. The signal was both hands on the chest by the referee, and we didn't get him to turn his mic on for us that time, so let's see if we can figure out. That would be illegal shift with 2 hands, so we had an illegal shift, and it was a penalty against Denbigh declined by the Bruins. They've got it 1st and 10. Inside handoff. Steve Hodges struggles down close to the 15-yard line.
And that's a play that Bethel has been successful on. And again, that's just a little counter play that they run. These teams are very similar in their approach, and you'll see it's just a fake to the man going to the left and a handoff to the right. Goes behind the blocking. He spins off of one block and gets down to the 15-yard line. That was a nice run.
Got a good block that time by Matt Penort. This is Paul London spinning away from a would-be tackler. He's down close to the 11-yard line. It'll be short of a first down, but it'll be 3rd down and about a yard. Maybe a little more than a yard. Third down, and let's call it 2 for the Bruins. Watch the replay here. You'll see London again following the blocking. This time he's trying to follow his halfback into the pile up there and spun away to get some pretty good yardage considering that play was pretty well bogged down.
Well, London comes out and Steve Hodges comes in, and they're bringing the play in, being called by Coach Kozlowski. And they're in like a power eye now.
Fumble. Denbigh says they've got it. Let's wait and see if the officials see it the same way. And they do.
I still haven't seen a signal from the official.
Well, I thought I had, but let's see. Wait a minute.
If he puts his fist up, that's a 4th down.
I was going to say that Denbigh did not get the fumble, and that the Bruins are going to retain possession.
And they'll be going for a field goal. They send the field goal unit in, and Troy Fullwood, number 44, has got a real strong leg.
Let's
and
just
he'll
hope.
be kicking into the stiff wind, but it's right in the center of the field.
Fullwood, however, he may by now have it. He did not have the kicking shoe when the team arrived here. They had misplaced his kicking shoe, so let's hope that he, in fact, did get it. 19-yard line will be the point of the spot. It'll be a 29-yard field goal attempt. Waltney's got it teed up. Fullwood has run into a flag goes down. The field goal is good, but let's hold everything here. They're going to have roughing the kicker call. Now what do you do, Coach? You take the 3 points off the board?
Well, if you're a coach, you don't take the points off the board. The other team has to score twice now anyway, but it's a big penalty. It'll give you a first down.
Yeah.
The ball is spotted where it's at about the 11-yard line, so it'll bring it down to about the 6. But Kaz says, no, we're going to decline that. We're going to take the 3 points.
Okay, that's interesting.
Smart move.
It is a smart move, but it's not all that clear cut in my mind.
Well, if you look at the score and the conditions, the other team has got to score now twice. So, and you know you're going to have the wind at your back during the second half, as we'll see the replay here on that field goal. Nice job of keeping his head down, Fullwood, but he has definitely run into after the kick, and there was the penalty. But he had plenty of foot. He's very strong kicking that ball.
20 yards, 4 plays, 2 minutes and 3 seconds. And it's 10-0 in favor of the Bethel Bruins. Would have been tempting, though, you know, when you get that first down.
Tempting. It
you
is
get that
tempting.
first down there right around the 10 or 9 yard line. You got to.
But if you could fumble it, there's a lot of things that could happen.
That's right. A short kick taken at the 31-yard line and returned out to about the 38.
Well, that was kicked low, and that was kicked low on purpose to keep from getting into that wind. But it gives Denbigh a good field position at about the 38.
When we found out that we weren't going to have AG down here, I half jokingly, half serious asked Coach Kozlowski if he wouldn't mind if we wired him for the game. But I told him we'd have to let him determine when it was going to be turned on. Oh my gracious, look at the Bruin there in our face. And the Bruin is, as a matter of fact, is a very attractive young lady, so don't let that fool you.
I was going to say she needs a shave. And there she is again.
Pretty ferocious looking. Clock stops with 5:30 remaining here in the third quarter.
And that was another pass. The receivers opened. The pass was a little bit low, as we can see on the replay. The quarterback just takes a real quick drop, a fake, and then just boom, real quick, and there's the play. But it was just a little out in front and a little bit low.
So Edlow is still only one pass completion in 7 attempts. He gets the pressure. He sets the screen up on the left-hand side. It's working pretty well for the Patriots. Going along, tight roping the sidelines is Damon Williams.
And that screen pass will work real good against a real aggressive defense. And that's what happened that time, is Bethel took themselves out of position by putting a lot of pressure on the quarterback. Edlow did a good job of maintaining his cool and dumping that ball off.
All the way to the Bethel 44-yard line, where it's a first down for the Patriots.
You can see on the replay, he's getting a lot of pressure, but there was no defensive ball player around after he caught the ball.
Over the middle, pass goes incomplete.
Well, Edlow is definitely putting the ball in the air. He figures he has to, I guess. For the coaching staff, it says down by 10, and we only have 5 more minutes with this wind to our back. We're going to have to do something.
Jonathan Shazier was the intended receiver for Edlow. It goes incomplete, and again, his passing woes continue as he's attempted 7 passes and only completed 1 to a teammate and 1 to the Bethel Bruins. Actually, that should be 8, I believe. Edlow, handoff, not much happening there. It's going to be 3rd down and long.
Well, this definitely brings up a passing situation. He's had his receivers open. He just hasn't been able to get the ball to him.
No gain on the play for Williams. It's 3rd down and 10 at the 44. So
there's a good shot of Coach Skip Bouchard.
2 plays and nothing for the Patriots. It's 3rd down and 10. They trail 10-0. Clock running with 4:44 remaining here in the third quarter. Edlow doesn't have a man open. Now he rolls. He spots Damon Williams, and Williams will be close to a first down.
Yeah, I believe he picked it up. That was a real good throw on the move, but he hit a man who could take the ball down and pick up the first down.
Williams has shown excellent versatility, as over on the stop was Tracy Brown for Bethel.
As you can see, he gets a lot of pressure. Now this is right here, and he just rolls to his left and just kind of dumps the ball off.
Kind of a safety valve play, I think you might call
yes.
that. But it's enough for a first down as they mark it at the 33-yard line of Bethel. This is one of the better drives that Denbigh has put together this evening. Pitch comes to Williams. Williams picks up about 3 to the 30.
Well, Edlow really got hit hard that time. Number 7 is slow getting up.
Yeah, he's not faring all that well right now.
Well, he was on a pitch, and he held on to the ball to the last minute, as you can see on the replay, and he really gets hit hard here by the defense of the Bruins. Looked like number 41 for the Bruins. It would have been Chris Whitehead, one of the linebackers.
The linebackers love to hit that quarterback. The Bruins show blitz. They're coming, and it's picked up very well by Denbigh. Edlow throws, and it's tipped and picked off. The second interception of the ball game for Robinson. Flags are down.
He almost ran over an official.
Nice block by Fullwood on the return. But there are flags down, so hold everything, folks. We're going to have to sort this one out.
Well, one of the officials was leading interference. I don't know if you saw that or not, but he was just trying to get out of the way.
Well, let's see now what's going to happen here, because the ball was tipped by the intended receiver.
And we do have a Bruin down on the field, as we can see here on our camera. We see on the replay.
Looks like 2 penalties against Denbigh. As you see a flag thrown in there, it was probably the holding call.
And that ball is tipped, and that's the tip drill you practice.
Robinson got that one. That's his second of the evening.
And you can see the official leading interference. He just trying to get out. And what a beautiful block by Troy Fullwood. And there's a late hit.
Yeah, oh, my gracious.
Yeah, that was a late, and that may be who they're working on down there on the sideline, and it was.
That was a
Number 14,
hit.
Robbie Robinson, was really hit hard after he went down, and he was down a long time before that late hit come in.
And it was significantly late. You have to wonder about that.
And that kind of gets frustration.
Well, you know, it's just such a dangerous play, though. When the player's down like that, he kind of relaxes because he doesn't expect anyone to hit him.
Well, the whistle stops. I mean,
Exactly.
the play stops when your knee hits the ground.
So the Bruins will get the ball, and they'll have a penalty tacked on as well.
Here you got holding against.
Holding on the offense. Decline. Ball's going this way. All right, now put the ball down.
Okay, now they're going to have the dead ball foul called if we listen to Kenny Self.
All right, we have a dead ball foul after the tackle. Have a dead ball foul, personal foul against the white team.
So
They go 15 yards.
They decline the initial penalty, and then they'll take the 15-yarder. Of course,
Well, the decline of the initial
Dead
penalty
ball
give them the
foul,
ball.
Personal foul, white team, first down.
And again, let me take a moment to thank the officiating crew, Kenny Self and his crew tonight, for allowing us to put the mic on him, and we appreciate him letting us do that, and we appreciate the fact that this has been a well-called ball game by the officials.
It has really been a lot of activity out there. We got Fullwood now quarterbacking because Robbie was hit on that last play.
Not much happening on the handoff as Corey Hodge is the ball carrier for the Bruins. Or check that, not Hodge, in fact, but that's number 33, Marcus Muscali. Number 33 comes in the ball game.
We can see a watch for Fullwood keeping the ball on the quarterback option. He's a good running quarterback, but he will throw the ball on occasion, but he's a much better runner than he is a passer.
Pitch back to Hodge. Hodge got a good block and picks up good yardage. Finally goes out of bounds, but not before getting into Denbigh territory at the 44-yard line.
And it picked up the first down. He had to cross the, what is that, the 45?
Yep.
And he just got across it and picked up the first down. That was a nice cut. And we can see on the replay, it's just a simple pitch, like a little power sweep. And he gets a nice block there, cuts inside that block and avoids two tacklers, stumbles a little bit, runs in the back of one of his blockers, and actually stepped out of bounds.
Yeah,
not where it was marked.
That was a bad spot. That was a bad spot. Because he did, in fact, step out of bounds at the 45. But nonetheless, number 45 carries this time, picks up about 4. They'll mark it close to the 40-yard line.
Well, in his second foot came down where they marked it, so it was a close call anyway. And if you're an official, you try to be as close to it as you can without getting in the way of the players.
Well, you know, and again, let's give credit where it's due. The official is certainly much closer to the play than we are, even though we had a certain angle on it. He may have had a better angle.
And that's just it looked like a scrum. Is that what you call that? A scrum?
Scrum, yeah. 41-yard line is the line of scrimmage. Fullwood on the option, pitches back to Steve Hodges, and Hodges crosses the 35 and gets all the way down close to the 32-yard line.
And another first down. But he held on. He actually turned upfield, made the defender man come up to try to stop him, and then pitched the ball. As you can see on the replay here, Troy Fullwood, 44, still has the ball, and then waits to the last minute and gives the ball to Hodge, and he just did a good job of picking up the first down.
That's 34 yards on the evening on 7 carries for Steve Hodges. Troy Fullwood hands off to Corey Hodge as he gets down close to the 30-yard line. Pickup of about 2. And that gives Corey Hodge 60 yards so far in the evening. He's got 12 carries to his credit. So it's the Hodges and Hodge show right now for the Bruins. Paul London joins Corey Hodge in the backfield, and he gets the call. He fumbles the football, and Denby's got it. So Paul London had trouble on the handoff, and fumble the ball, and it goes over to the Denbigh Patriots.
And that's a big break for the Denbigh Patriots because Bethel was moving the ball. They had great field position, but Denbigh only has 41 more clicks on that clock with the wind at their back. So if they're going to throw along, they've got to do it now.
10-0 is our score. The Bethel Bruins led at halftime 7-0. Rodney Bowens on the receiving end of a 41-yard pass from Robbie Robinson, and Fullwood's extra point was good, and then Fullwood hit a 29-yard field goal in the third quarter and made it 10-0, and that's the way we look at it right now with 27 seconds to go. Clock stops on the out-of-bounds play.
Oh, Brian Edlow that time faked the handoff, and it looked like it was kind of a mix-up. He just kind of stood there and then took off, and the blocking formed, and he picked up, was that enough for a first down?
No, he's going to be a little short, actually, Bobby. He's going to end up about a yard short of the first down.
Well, that was if that was a broken play, we saw that last week. A couple broken plays helping Kickingham.
They need to get to the 38, actually, to cross the 38, and it's on the 37. And Damon Williams, or Damon Williams, however you want to pronounce it, gets the first down as he's out close to the 49-yard line. And a couple of words exchanged between Bruins and Patriots there, but nothing happens. 19 seconds remaining here in the the third quarter.
The first quarter of the second half.
That's right. My golly, that's what I really meant to say.
I figured that's what you said. I was following you. I knew exactly what you were doing.
Denbigh will have to hurry to get this play off now. There's 4 seconds, 3. They do. The linebacker comes on the blitz, but a good effort again by Denbigh to get almost to midfield as time runs out here in the third quarter. And that's going to do it. We've played 36 minutes.
Is there a flag on the play?
I was just going to say, is there? Or?
If there is, there may be another play.
Depends on who this penalty would be against, right?
Yes.
All right, so if there was a flag, it apparently will be, well, let's see what they're going to call. Let's not even speculate. They might have just been discussing. They're not going to have to move the ball very far, are they?
Well, they got to move it on the other side of the field is the only thing they've got to do. They're right on the 50-yard line.
Right.
So they just move it over here and turn the ball.
I was starting to buy that for a minute.
Well, really, that's about all you do.
I don't see a penalty flag.
I don't think there is a penalty flag.
But, I'm not sure there was.
They're discussing which way to turn the ball, to the right or to the left.
So after 3 quarters, let's run down some individual statistics for you while they're changing ends of the field, which doesn't take much effort. 60 yards so far for Corey Hodge on 12 carries, so he's coming in at about a 5-yard a clip average. Steve Hodges has 34 yards on 7 carries, so he's pretty much about the same, right at 5 yards a carry. So when you got Hodge and Hodges averaging 5 yards each time they run the ball, you're going to have some success.
You are that.
Now, Denbigh on the other side has relied almost exclusively on Damon Williams with 74 yards on 17 carries, and Brian Edlow has carried 9 times for only 23 yards. 12 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter, and I say fourth quarter because there are no ties in AAA high school football, so if we should end up tied, we'd have an overtime session. But Denbigh right now has yet to score as Williams again gets the call, and he'll get about 2 yards down to the Bethel 48-yard line.
Well, all he needs is about 1.5 yards to pick up the first down, so that's a play that they have been calling, and we may look to see him do that again, but they're going to have to get something on the board and stop the Bruins. Well, Bruins have stopped themselves on a couple of fumbles tonight.
Edlow has thrown 2 interceptions so far, both of those to Robbie Robinson. On the end around, good defense by the Bruins.
Really was, because that play never got a chance to develop and actually lost some yardage, which will bring up a 4th down.
Chris Whitehead, the linebacker, smelled that play out and defended it perfectly.
Well, you'll see it on the replay, but that's his job, is to fill that lane and he does a good job and not letting anybody, he not only filled the lane, but made a beautiful open field tackle. Now we got a 4th down, and he's going for it.
And he's got it. Just straight ahead power. So the Denbigh offensive line did a good job that time in opening a hole for Damon Williams, and he just blew right up the middle on what was a short yardage situation, and he picked up plenty of yards all the way down to the 37-yard line.
And you have to wonder why he didn't run that play last time, but here it is again. It's just a straight dive and catches the Bruins in the weak defense that time.
13-yard pickup for Williams. Now we have an official's timeout.
You get the equipment fixed or something there. There he goes.
Time will be restarted. 10 minutes and 20 seconds remains here in the 4th quarter. Edlow, right side. Handoff all the way down to the 30-yard line. A pickup of 7 yards. And that was a new number in the backfield there for the Denbigh Patriots. Carrying the ball was 44, Mike Britt, who started the ball game but has not seen much action. That's only the 3rd time he's carried the ball. This time he does so for 8 yards, and he's totaled 13 on the evening.
Yeah, they're just moving that ball right down the field with right against this Bruin defense.
Edlow to Williams on the delay. Williams picks up maybe a yard and a half. It's going to be short of the 1st down.
But they seem to be doing much better, Tim, when they go straight up the center rather than on a delay. And as we can see, we got an injured Bruin down on the field, as we'll see the replay, that it takes a little longer to develop, and by doing that, it gives the Bruins a chance to get in the backfield and not get as much yardage as before, but they do have a measurement going on. But it looks like, I can't see who that is, number 51. Is that who that is for the Bruins?
I can't.
And if that is, that's Tracy Brown. He's a 5'9" guard for the Bruins. He's just a junior, and he was right in the middle of the action there.
Let me correct myself in that Edlow does not have 2 interceptions. He has 1 interception. Don Rhodes threw the other interception that was picked off by Robbie Robinson. But Robbie Robinson has 2 interceptions. So they are still attending to the injured player, and again, we hope that it is only a minor injury at this point. They are going to take their time and be cautious. Clock stops with 9:31 remaining in the 4th quarter. If you just joined us, you're watching the game played Saturday night, the 23rd of September, between the Bethel Bruins and the Denbigh Patriots at Todd Stadium in Newport News. I'm Tim Cole with Bob Hintz, and we are here for a game that was played in a very brisk, windy evening at Todd Stadium. The conditions almost opposite from the game played earlier in the day, a game that we also had the pleasure of bringing you, a game between the Phoebus Phantoms and the Phoebus Phantoms and the Wilson Presidents. I'm starting to say Menchville. They were the team.
We'll see the replay on that last play, and it's a kind of a slow developing play. And he has to veer to the left just to miss it.
They see Tracy Brown, number 51, right there, and you see him go down from a block right at the tail end of that play.
Right. Has good, sharp eyes that time.
And he's still being attended to. He is sitting up now, and that's encouraging. Now the Denbigh Patriots have registered the 1st down. A reminder again, I can't emphasize this enough, that if you're sitting home and it's Wednesday night and you're thinking about, gee, what do I think I'll do Friday night? What am I going to do? And I say, we got a great idea for you. Go out there to Darling Stadium for $3 or $4. You can come out and have a great evening of entertainment at the brand spanking new Darling Stadium. Not like the old stadium now. The old stadium was a great stadium in its day, but this new stadium is going to be really something. It's going to be a showcase of the peninsula, and even for that matter, the Tidewater area. As stadiums go, there are not going to be any finer than you'll have in Hampton. We'd like to see all of the Hampton area residents that like high school football to get out there for that game. Plenty of parking. The price is right. You'll be entertained, I'm sure. Kickintan and Hampton will kick off that big game. Oh, what a fine defensive effort. And he's going to pick it up and run it in. That is Craig Rainey. He's got good quickness.
And nobody's going to catch him. He is so fast.
A 45-yard fumble recovery.
And there are no flags on the field.
Craig Rainey made the hit and then picked the ball up and ran it in for the touchdown.
And once he picked it up, he was gone. Let me tell you a little bit about that young man. As we can see on the replay, he is a track standout, as you can see. Once he makes the hit right here, boom, and that ball comes flying out, the pitchman really never got a chance for it, but he scoops that ball up, and he is off to the races and just leaves everybody in the dust. I mean, he is just running away from people. What a, what a run.
I'm going to call it a 45-yard fumble recovery. The Bruins are going to call a timeout because I don't believe they have enough players on the field.
Well, the kicker didn't have his shoe on or the kicking tee, and so Bethel had to take a timeout so they wouldn't get that 5-yard penalty. So number 21, Craig Rainey was made a couple of nice catches last week in that game against Kickingham, but here you can see the quarterback goes down and he gets hit as he pitches. He pitches a little bit behind the pitchman, and Rainey just ran over him.
Whoa,
and then he kind of might have been a little clip there.
Yeah, that could have been called a clip, but again, you can't see everything. If we have a chance to run that back one more time, and I'm sure we can, there's a timeout on the field. You're going to see what could have been an illegal block because the man who was Williams, that was the pitchman you were referring to, he was pushed down from behind.
And it was, but he could have been going for the ball. And it was not a block as such as it more was a push. As you can watch again on the replay, that when he pitches the ball here, as he is hit, it's behind him, but the pitchman is going after the ball.
Now watch here, as the play continues, you're going to see that
right, you'll see a Bethel Bruin come up on the left side right there and just kind of run into that man, and once he did, there was no, Rainey was off to the races. And here we go back to live action, and Mr. Fullwood is in to attempt a point after.
Fullwood hits the upright, and it comes bouncing back, and it will not count. It'll still remain 16-0.
Well, Brian Groutney did a good job of getting that ball down. That was a high center. It was really high over, and he had to raise stretch for it. And that gives us a 16-0 lead. So that's 2 touchdowns and 2 two-point conversions. But they're still in the ballpark.
So the Bethel Bruins looking to give Denbigh its first league defeat and looking to improve their record to 3-1 and bounce back from that tough outing against Kickingham last week.
Well, these 2 young men for Bethel that have done well tonight. Troy Fullwood is one of them in the center. Damon Wallace the other. These 2 young men are Boy State candidates, and you don't get that way unless you have some good grades and do a good job academically.
You know, I want to also emphasize that if you're sitting home Wednesday night and you're thinking about what you're going to do besides that Hampton-Kickingham game, there will be other games going on that weekend. Check the schedule to see where your favorite team is playing and go out and support your high school football. It's a great way to spend an evening on a fall evening. All the way out to the 21-yard line. And now the Denbigh player is a bit shaken up on the play. That is Williams, and he is going to stay down.
And it looks like with the officials calling the coaches over, that maybe he had injured a leg or something. You can see he almost takes this ball in the end zone. In fact, his foot was pretty close to touching the end line, and he makes a good move here to the outside. And Wallace, good job of hanging on at both legs, and that may be what happened to him, is he got a leg twisted. That's number 1 for the
Damon Williams.
Damon Williams for the Patriots.
He may have just suffered a cramp. We hope that's all it is.
That's it. He's up. That's great. Good. All right.
So on a chilly, damp night like this, and that field is damp, so you're going to have situations that occur. And we're happy to see Mr. Williams bounce up and head off under his own steam. So the Patriots, I'm sure, are happy to see that as well, as he has been one of the main cogs here. He's got 99 yards on 20 carries tonight, so he has been their bread and butter man so far. The officials now have reset the ball, ready for play. Denbigh trailing 16-0. Edlow hands off, big gainer.
Boy, there is a big hole there on that right side when they run that dive play.
The ball carrier that time for the Denbigh Patriots was Dante Rivera, number 42. Rivera is a heavy running back. He's 5'9", he's 195 pounds.
Well, number 51, Tracy Brown, is sent in there by Coach Kozlowski to shore up the center of that defensive line a little bit.
This is Rivera trying to get to the outside. He sheds 2 or 3 tackles and finally is taken down after he crosses the 40-yard line to about the 41. So Rivera showed good strength that time as he just kind of knocked away would-be tacklers on 2 or 3 occasions.
We can see the replay. It looks like one of the Bethel Bruins just had him and let go of him, number 39.
That's Ogburn.
And he may have thought, well, he didn't have the ball. But you hang on to him anyway.
They marked the ball at the 41. It's 2nd down and 5. And Edlow will be sacked.
Well, there was a mix-up in the backfield that time. He never got who he wanted to get the ball to. And he's slow getting up, as you can see on his picture. He's been taking some hits tonight. Played an excellent game. He has done a great job for the Patriots.
Juan Shackelford is in on the stop.
Watch this, Kaz, and you'll see where it's just, well, maybe just a fake on the handoff, and he was supposed to follow him up. Tim, may have been a busted play. I don't know.
No gain on the play. It's 3rd down and 5.
Oh, there's Coach Mike Smith. He's checking out this ball game tonight.
And bursting up the middle for the 1st down.
And you know he's here not looking at Denbigh. He's here looking at Bethel High School.
Dante Rivera again carries the ball for the Patriots. Boy, I tell you, we got some eagle eyes out there picking up coaches from opposing teams.
That's young Sammy Jr. Whatever the channel is, Channel 6 in Richmond, puts him on leave unless he come on down here and do these ball games. We appreciate that.
Edlow on the option. Right side. Not much. Close to midfield.
He may be just a little hesitant to pitch that ball. The last time he pitched it on the option, Bethel ended up with a touchdown.
They marked the ball just short of the midfield stripe. Pickup of about a yard. Let's call it a gain of 2. It'll be 2nd down and 8. 6:10 left in the 4th quarter. Time starting to become a major factor here. The Bruins are blitzing, and it pays off. So that's about the 3rd or 4th time here in the 2nd half that Kaz has sent the linebackers.
And the one that does the most damage is Troy Fullwood, number 44.
The Patriots just don't seem to be picking up the linebackers when they do come.
No, they're not picking them up at all. You're right. You'll see on the replay as Fullwood and number 41, the other linebacker, Chris Whitehead, both come in, and they're in the backfield before Edlow can do anything.
So a loss of 2, 3rd and 10. Edlow rolls, gets some pressure, and then throws it short. It'll be a completion.
And look who's on top of the pass receiver, number 44, Troy Fullwood.
So the defense comes up big, and the pass is completed, but it's one of those cases where you wish, in fact, he had not completed because they end up with losing yardage on the play. They lost 6 or 7 on the play.
As you can see on the replay, he gets pressured. It's a screen pass again, and that time Kenny Self was in the way a little bit. But he was already down, and there was no penalty call, but it could have been a penalty call because
it was pretty
down.
simultaneous.
It was pretty possible because he went down and come right back up. It was almost like maybe I ain't down.
Now with fourth down, and there's going to be at least an official's timeout for an equipment repair.
And they're going for it. And it's what, 4th and 16?
Yeah, it's 4th and 14, 15, 16 anyway. But I guess Denbigh at this point figures, what the heck, you're behind 16 points, 4:40 to go in the game. You've got to go for it. You got to have 3 scores, and they're not going to get anything. It's just not going to happen. And credit good defensive play by the Bethel Bruins. And again, Juan Shackelford is there, number 75, and others. Number 39, Jeff Ogborn. And let's give one more call here. We'll call the number 54, Kevin Wynn, was out there as well.
But we have to get to the point where we're going to pick a player of the game.
All right, we'll do so. But first, let's take a brief timeout. We'll be back with more after this. For the Bethel Bruins on downs. Pitch goes to Corey Hodge. Flag is down. Hodge is driven out of bounds, stopping the clock with 4 minutes remaining in the ballgame.
Well, that looks like it could be offensive holding. With that flag was thrown, we'll have to see what Kenny Self tells us.
That's the call. I'll tell you one thing, Coach, you have been on it tonight.
Well, I can pick the penalties up, I guess maybe because I did a few of them. You pick up the ball, you know whether it's a first down or not on the close calls. You can see on the replay, there was holding in the center of that line, and there comes the flag. Stopped right in midair. Slow-mo Joe does a good job, doesn't he?
He does. And while we have this discussion about the penalty, let's talk about our players of the game. We certainly have some very prime candidates from the Bethel Bruins. You've got the fact that Rodney Bowens was on the receiving end of that pass from Robbie Robinson. Now, he's thrown the touchdown pass. Robinson has made 2 interceptions, so he's certainly a
he's got to be a candidate as well as Full.
Holding.
Fullwood has done a good job. Both when he had to come back in and, excuse me, Kenny, I didn't mean to run over. But he's done a good job defensive and offense.
He certainly has, and a lot of good play both ways on the part of several Bethel players tonight. And we will be picking a player of the game, and let's get back to the action here. Fullwood, quarterback keeper. And he is still going and finally is taken down at the 40-yard line. So he picked up about, well, let's see, 7, almost 8 yards on that
Well,
play.
It looked like he was stopped after about 2 yards, and all of a sudden there he came shooting through. I don't know if Joe's got that or not, but that was almost like an afterthought, and there he came firing off the left-hand side.
Let me again do my disclaimer on this. Our selection of a player of the game is purely unscientific. It's just a matter of us deciding to pick someone, and that's not to slight anyone else, because there have been some excellent efforts on the parts of many different players on the field tonight. And if we single out one player, it's more for just the idea of picking a player.
Absolutely.
And certainly we don't want anyone to feel like, gee, I didn't pick it, I played better than he did. That's not the case. We're just having a little fun with this. And another candidate would be Corey Hodge. He's got 12 carries for 60 yards. Steve Hodges has had a good night. He's averaging about 5.5 yards each time he's carried. Rainey, of course, with that excellent defensive hit, and then he picked up the fumble and ran in for the touchdown. Fullwood fakes the handoff, and then he is slammed to the ground. A bit of revenge on the part of the Denbigh Patriots there, as number 45, Paul Dinkins, put the hit on him. So let's see here. Let's ask Dr. Stills here, our producer, who his pick would be for the player of the game tonight.
He's going for number 21.
Number 21.
He likes that play. That's got to be
That's
Rainey.
Craig Rainey. Yeah, that was the man who made that hit and ran in with the fumble recovery. What about Scotty Bowers, our director? He likes the guy who's selling the Cokes in the stands. Oh, that's something else. What about that, Mr. Director? Think about it and then get back to us on that. And we've got motion, we got flags. What do we got? We got delay of game against Bethel. No, we got delay before that, actually. 1:52 remaining. Denbigh and Denbigh is trailing in the ball game. Tie 16-0. Lost our monitor for a minute there, but we've got it back now. Deep punt formation on a 4th down and 12. Taylor back at his 42, gets a one hop. The Patriots are coming, and Taylor goes down. A flag will go down, and that should just about knock out.
Man hit him right in the head, son, with his hand. Just blatted him.
And you may have heard Kenny Self, whose microphone happened to be turned on, tell the player why he's going to call it. You heard him say he hit him right in the head. So we picked up the...
Come on, back up, guys. Captain.
So they're going to have a penalty on the play, and I'm not sure it'll be an automatic first down. It may be enough. Here you're going to see the rush. Denbigh had to go for the block. There's no question. Of course, our cameras followed the ball, but had you kept an eye on the play, you would have seen contact with the punter, Taylor.
And he has nowhere to go.
Look at that. He got 7 Bruins chasing him down, and then he finally goes out of bounds inside the 10.
Defense.
Automatic first down.
Automatic first down. We've got minute 39. Well, we got a chance. Let me go over our staff here. Dr. Sam Still, of course, is up here with us. Scotty Bowers is down in the truck. Sam Jr. is on the sideline giving us good pictures on the sideline.
What does Scotty Bowers do in the truck?
Oh, he sits there and does a lot in the truck.
Well, I mean, you just said he's in the truck. He's our director, right?
Yes, sir.
What's Dr. Stills do? Dr. Stills is our producer. I just thought I'd give some assigned names to these particular... Gwaltney is a quarterback now.
And Angela Brown and Earl Johnson are on the cameras.
Cameras.
Okay, got
Probably
that.
call them camera
Beverly
people.
Penn, she does the graphics for us.
She's a graphic person.
And then we got Joe Slow-Mo Lewis in the truck, and he does the slow motion.
That's a good job.
We got Ryan Lewis eats peanuts. And we got Keith Steele down there. He's pulling that cable for Sam Jr. And of course we got, and he's not getting paid for that, but he's down here working hard. And then Jerry Zompoulos is doing all our stats for us.
Steve Hodges carries the ball. We have a little fracas at the end of that play. A couple of flags go down and some heated words between the 2 players involved.
Well, Tim, it's up to you. Who you going to pick? Scotty won't tell us who he's going to pick for the player of the game. I kind of like Robbie myself.
Robbie Robinson, yeah. I think Robbie Robinson is a good choice. I think he's had an excellent ball game. He's called a good game at quarterback. He's done the right thing when he's needed to. He's got 2 interceptions. And,
yes.
Again, we emphasize that several players could certainly be recipients of our illustrious award, but Robbie Robinson tonight will be our chosen player. Chosen player, and we congratulate him, and we at this point can pretty well congratulate the
entire
Bethel Bruins.
Yes.
And a good job on the part of the Denbigh Patriots tonight. They came out and played a good game, but Coach Kozlowski had the Bruins fired up. They were determined they were going to win this game. And determination, of course, is a major factor.
And number 69 for the Bruins was told to leave the game. I'm not sure why.
Well, there was a bit of a fracas at the end of that last play. I'm not sure he was the player involved, but if he was thrown out, it's more than likely that's why. There was some extracurricular activity.
But there's no flag thrown.
Well, there were 2 flags thrown, actually.
Oh, okay.
And they're still discussing what they're going to do. So apparently he was ejected. Somebody roughed him up, or he roughed someone up, and they got into a little tussle there. It was very brief and probably of no consequence to anybody. But nonetheless, they are going to sort this out. Kenny Self, tell us about it.
Had 2 dead ball fouls, 1 against white, 1 against green. The first occurred against green. We enforced the first penalty first. Unsportsmanlike, half the distance.
And then you go half the distance, but then coming the other way, you go 15 yards. Again, I don't understand it.
Dead ball foul, unsportsmanlike against the green team. First down.
We're seeing an excellent team out here. Both teams teams out here playing excellent defense.
Thank you, Joe Lewis. Back to the play, and the Bruins retain possession. And they can just pretty much wear this clock out as there's only 37 seconds remaining. The clock is moving. Denbigh will be just as happy to get this one over with. Who are the Bethel Bruins playing next week, Bob? Did you have a chance to get?
Yeah, I've got their schedule here. They're playing Warwick at the stadium, Darley Stadium, Saturday night.
Saturday night, okay.
And that's going to be a tough game.
This will be our last visit here until October 23rd, when we'll be back here for Bethel and Ferguson.
Sam says we're not doing it live. Are we going to be dead when we do it?
I'm dead now. 2 games in 1 day is all I can handle. There's your final score. The Bethel Bruins 16. The Denbigh Patriots no score, as the Bruins rebound from that Kecoughtan loss last week. And they come out here and score in the first half a 7-0 lead at halftime on a 63-yard drive. Took 5 plays, and Rodney Bowens was on the receiving end of Robbie Robinson's 41-yard pass for the touchdown. That's all that they would have needed. Of course, the Bruins did, in fact, add to that scoring total a 29-yard field goal by Troy Fullwood. And then we had a 45-yard fumble recovery by Craig Rainey. And the extra point try was no good. And the final score is the Bethel Bruins 16 and the Denbigh Patriots no score. And if I get a chance here, Jerry Z feverishly is totaling up the final stats here. I'm just going to look down some of the individual stats while he's doing that. Corey Hodge finishes up with 60 yards on the night, 48 yards for Steve Hodges as he put in a strong effort, 12 yards for Paul London. Fullwood ends up with 6 yards rushing. And in the passing category, Robinson completed 4 out of 7 for 79 yards, and Fullwood was 0 for 1. In the receiving department, Bowens had 2 catches for 58 yards and 6 yards for Rainey and 15 yards for Corey Hodge. On the Denbigh Patriots side, they were paced with 98 yards on 21 carries from Damon Williams. Edlow carried 12 times for 22 yards. 3 yards for Lloyd. They came in the first half.
You just missed Coach Keyes is really talking to those ball players out there. He's glad he won, but they made some mistakes that he's not too happy about. But there, he's getting them fired up, as you can see in the huddle there. Go ahead, John. But
that's okay.
Fans were looking at that. They need Keyes really is fired up. He's excited about this win.
Well, he's the kind of coach that is very emotional.
Yes.
He gets a lot out of his players. He is a winner all the way, and he wants his players to think win. And I've never coached on this level in any capacity, but I know that that's very important. That these young men are emotional as well, and you've got to keep them emotionally up. It's like when we did that game this afternoon with Bethel and Phoebus. Now, Bill D has got a real challenge because he's got to put this game behind him now.
Not Bethel and Phoebus. Wilson and
Phoebus, excuse me. No, I'm getting punchy now.
That's all right.
Wilson and Phoebus played earlier this afternoon, and Bill D now has to get his Phoebus team fired up for the Ferguson game this coming weekend, which will be here at Todd Stadium. And that's not going to be easy after you get a 41-0 shellacking. So it's easy to keep your team fired up to a degree, but it's a tough job either way you do it, because these young men are just out there. You got to remember, these are young high school students. Some of them are only 14, 15 years old.
Yeah, it really is, and they're going to make mistakes, and you have to understand that. But Coach Keyes will get the most out of his ball players. He's done that ever since he's been at Bethel High School. And once he took over his head job, now Bethel has not had many seasons where they were not in the race for the championship. They've been right up there most of the time since they were opened up the doors in 1968.
Well, I don't have all the official standings for the league, but I do know that with Hampton's victory against Medgeville, they should be 2-1 in the
3-1. Okay, 2-1 in the district.
They're 3-1 overall. Bethel now moves to a 3-1 situation. Denbigh is 2-2. Should be 2-1 in the district. So it's pretty much of a logjam up there, as a very strong effort by both. The Hampton and Bethel, and Kecoughtan won against Norview in a non-district game. So the winning continues. Phoebus was the only Hampton City school to taste defeat this weekend. So Bethel, Hampton, and Kecoughtan continue their winning ways. So I've got the final stats from our quickie stat man, Jerry Zompas.
He can put his shoes on now.
I'll tell you. Bethel finishes up with 9 first downs, 126 yards rushing, 79 yards passing. They were 4 out of 7 in the passing department, no interceptions. Fumbled 3 times, lost 2 of them, penalized 10 times for 90 yards, and they had the ball a little more than half the ball game, 24 minutes and 17 seconds. Denbigh, in fact, registered more first downs. They had 14. They rushed for 176 yards. They only had 1 yard on, no, that's not right. They got 1 yard passing, but they completed 2 passes, so they had to have more than that. Jerry, in his haste here.
Well, they lost some yardage.
Minus yardage. No, yeah. Jerry, see, he put his sock back on, and he told me that he did have it right, and I had it wrong, which he's correct. They lost yardage on a pass. Of course,
that's on that screenplay.
Of course they can. Sure they did. So it wasn't bad enough that they had only 2 passes completed, but they went backwards on one of them. 2 interceptions, 2 fumbles, and 1 of those was lost. They were penalized 4 times for 45 yards, and they had the ball. The time of possession was almost split right down the middle. The big difference was Bethel came up with the big plays. They came up with that long pass to Rainey and that fumble recovery. And
long pass to Bowens, wasn't it? And Rainey picked up the
right,
long and fumble recovery.
Okay. Well, that's going to do it from Todd Stadium tonight. The final score again, Bethel 16 and Denbigh no score. For Bob Hintz and the entire crew, this is Tim Cole. Thanks for watching. Good night, everybody.
What do you think about it?
I think they're going to be fun tonight. I wish them the best of luck.
Okay. All right, now these 2 young ladies. Beth, what are your thoughts? You're not feeling too good tonight, but are you going to be out there cheering for them?
Yes, sir, and I wish them the best of luck.
Okay, and this young lady?
I wish them luck.
Y'all got any special cheers for tonight's game?
Can't crush a crab.
That always works, doesn't it?
Yes, sir.
All right, good luck to y'all. Y'all doing a great job. Tim and Bob.
Somebody's got to do that job. He knows them by name, too. You notice that?
You notice they call him sir, too. They call him sir. They respect their elders.
Good point. I like that.
9-6 is our score after the first quarter, a low-scoring first quarter. I wouldn't say it was so much more offense as it was good defense.
That's exactly my point, Tim. Now the Mariners are in that 2-1-2 zone, and the first thing that